because no man, this movie is older than me. If you haven't seen it at this point and you were like eager to see it, you weren't really that eager. So I will not hold back on the spoilers. Hello, lovers, and welcome back to the last part of the spooky special on Starring Cupid, starring me. It is your boy, Summer.x, nothing more, nothing less, from the east, not the west, zombies breaking necks, and we're here. We've reached the finish line of what was a very packed week for me. Like, podcast aside, I cannot tell you how difficult or like how packed this week has been for me. Personally, this is the hardest I've worked this whole year, considering the school stuff and the stuff I was doing personally for like myself and the work stuff. It was just, and I think the sad part of it all is I've only, in terms of like schoolwork, I've only hit the tip of the iceberg, and the rest of my body is the Titanic. But that has nothing to do with today. And okay, well, it is part of how excited I am about today, about ending off the series with this particular couple. Hey guys, can you maybe fixated? I think I'm in love with this couple. I love them. I've enjoyed every interpretation of them forever. Like, but I've loved every interpretation of them. They've come in so many different forms. I'm talking about none other than our Halloween sweethearts, our gothic king and queen. It's Morticia and Gomez Addams from the Addams Family Values. This family has had a career, if I can call it that. They've had live actions, they've had comics, they've had cartoon series, they've had animated movie, different forms. Like, there's so many different forms and interpretations of this one family. I remember someone on Twitter was wondering why, especially around this time, like, why do we love this family so much? And the best way I can describe it is, if this family were real, if they were human beings, they'd essentially be the spooky Kardashians. Like, they're just that family. I've been a fan of them since I was a child. I used to watch the cartoon series when it was on Boomerang. They would like play marathons. They play the whole season maybe, and I'd just sit there. I'd be mesmerized. I think the cartoon series kind of started my fixation with goth culture and like just goth aesthetics. I was just watching these things, and instead of being like terrified the whole time, I was just like, this is really cool. This is so cool. And to make matters better, we have one of the most stable married couples I have ever seen leading this family in this essay. But today I shall be focusing more on them during the live action film from 1993. Anything to avoid talking about that horrible animated movies. Oh my goodness, guys, that was it Warner Brothers that made that. I'm not even going to go into it. Let's jump straight in. This is The Addams. This live action was made in 1993 and directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, and it followed the very successful first movie from 1991 directed by the same man. Mr. Sonnenfeld he's been involved in some big ones. He is the director in Men in Black 1 and 3, a series of unfortunate events, Enchanted, etc., etc. Like looking at the movies he's made or been a part of, he has a very, I wanted to say, family friendly vibe. Like they all kind of have this thing where the movies are quite light and weird. Like sometimes it's science fiction weird, sometimes it's fantasy weird, but they all come back to being these light, funny, weird films. And I appreciate that about his work. I do enjoy a good goofy film. The characters from this movie are based on the works of Charles Adams, who you can guess for yourself named the family after him. He was a popular newspaper cartoonist and he created the Quirky Family in 1938. It's really wild that cartoons that this man drew back in 1938 have kind of evolved and grown over time and changed over time and have had so many interpretations. We have the TV series in the 60s, and then there was the cartoon series in the 70s, and then there was the live action film in 1991, and then there was the cartoon series that I watched that I spoke about that lasted from like 92 to 93. That was the show that properly made me fall in love with this family. Like I used to religiously watch it. It was so great. And you can just see that this man has been making mountains of money based on a cartoon he made back in the 30s. But I did, when I found out that it was made in the 30s, I kind of had this moment where I had sent out like a silent prayer, like, oh my God, please don't let any of these characters or any of the origin stories of this family be like racist or have like racist undertones, because oh my goodness, people always ruin things I really enjoy by being racist at the time. And then it's like, oh, why? We also have Caroline Thompson and Larry Wilson on the writing team. I briefly mentioned Thompson when I was talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas in the first episode of the series. She also had worked on that, and you can even see when you look at like the other films that she's written for, they all follow the kind of spooky, kid-friendly format that I was talking about. So yeah, I love her spooky work. Like it, love it. Moving on to the cast. Portraying the always lovely and morbid Morticia, we have Angelica Houston as Mrs. Morticia Adams. Now, you are lying or you are very young if you say you don't know her. Miss Houston has been in The Witches, The Royal Tenenbaums, The Life Aquatic, and literally any other Wes Anderson film under the sun. She's been in it. And I love her. I adore her. She is great at what she does, clearly. She has this, I want to say, when she's playing Morticia especially, she has this very silent intensity in like her face and like the way she talks, and she's like commands room, and I think it's a tall woman thing. I definitely think it's a tall woman thing. She might be the first tall woman that Baby Zama fell in love with, and that's probably why I'm here right now. But yes, love her, love what she did. Then Portraying our dashing and charming Casanova, we have Raul Julia as Mr. Gomez Adams. RIP to the king, RIP to the legend, to the Puerto Rican legend. He had quite the career. He was in movies like Street Fighter, Life of Sin, Kiss of Spider Woman, to name a few. I I didn't know of him before I watched these because like I'm also young and also I had no need to watch Street Fighter. But I didn't have any knowledge of him beforehand. However, whomever was behind casting him to play Gomez, I truly appreciate that person because they basically gave us one of the greatest portrayals of Gomez Adams I've ever seen. Mr. Julia smashed it. He took the cartoon that I knew and I loved from my childhood and he essentially like brought it to life. And the fact that they kind of had this Hispanic man play this character that was probably written for like white people, but he played this character and he made sure that people like knew. He kind of added his own personality and his own twist to Gomez, and it made it so wonderful. Yeah, love it. Honorable mentions. Now, I love everyone in this family equally. Love the entire family as a whole. Yes, definitely. But there is a special place in my heart for Wednesday. Wednesday Addams was my blueprint as a child. I wanted to be like her so badly, so bad. Christina Ricci, she did a stellar job of playing her in this film and the first film. Like guys, I adore her. She's literally my current screensaver. For like the whole month of October, I wanted to have wallpapers and lock screens that kind of matched the vibe. And she's like, you unlock my phone, that's the first thing you see. That's the level of dedication I have to my queen and my leader. Yeah, I really loved her performance. The way she kind of had this like nonchalant but also very menacing look on her face all the time. The deadpan way she would deliver her lines kind of made the lines even funnier. I would describe Wednesday as delightfully wicked, and I like that. I really do. We also have Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester. You know Mr. Lloyd, he plays Doc from all the Back to the Future films, where he literally just looks like Rick Sanchez. Every time I see Rick, I can't ignore the similarities. I know that they're intentional similarities because he's the inspiration for Rick, but it's irritating now because I can't see Christopher Lloyd without seeing Rick. But yeah, in this film, he's absolutely hilarious. I loved him. Twice as funny as in the first one because I think he had more to say, and also a lot of the stuff that was happening in the second film was kind of revolved around him. So yeah, he was giving us Uncle Fester, and I loved that. I actually think everything got better in the sequel. This is a very hot take. I don't mind people fighting me on it. It's fine. Then we have the lovely Joan Cusack as Debbie, the gold digger. Guys, I love this woman. I adore her so much. She's acted in some of my favorite comedy films over the years, and I know she's very funny. I know she's going to like induce some giggling from me. I know that. But as Debbie, I think Debbie is my favorite character of hers. I'll talk about it more later, but Debbie is a queen. Horrible person, but queen. Now, if you have never seen either one of these films, you have to. You simply have got to. It's good for you. It'll be great. You'll open yourself up to like this wonderful gothic fandom. Like Tumblr people love the Addams Family. They're great films. You will love it. Just do it. Simply just do it. That's my recommendation. If you have seen them, but you cannot recall because it's been ages, and I understand, here is a summary. The family is distressed when their beloved Uncle Festa is dribbled by a gold digger. They seek him out to save him from abandoning his family in the process. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's it. That's the summary. In fact, I might have spoiled it, but it's old. There'll be spoilers because, no man, this movie is older than me. If you haven't seen it at this point and you were like eager to see it, you weren't really that eager. So I will not hold back on the spoilers today. I might even cheat and look over all the shows and the movies I've seen that just look at these two people from more than one thing. But I can do that, you know why? Because my podcast. But I must reassure everyone again, we are completely ignoring that latest film. In fact, I don't even want to hear it. I do not want to hear anyone talk about that film around me. However, I would pay good money to see Oscar Isaac dressed up as Gomez. I'm evaporating at the thought. Anyway, daydreaming aside, let's get into all the quirky things that we love about Morticia and Gomez. When this family was created, it was meant to sort of make fun of what is considered the organic American family, what people take as normal. So when they created this family, they basically took the American dream and they flipped it. And the Addams are what is considered to be the abnormal. They are abnormal in the way they do things, they are abnormal in the way they dress, like they're just meant to be this weird, very different family. And it's clearly shown in their deadly, dangerous activities. They literally be getting up to lethal things every single day. Their house is a trap house, and I don't mean like there's literal traps maybe everywhere. These abnormalities and like these differences, they're also very present in this couple's marriage. Now, because the Addams are meant to be the opposite of what is considered the norm, the opposite of what I guess is a normal marriage is apparently what they have, which is hilarious because Morticia and Gomez cannot get enough of each other. Like, oh my goodness. If I'm correct and their children are roughly 12 or so years old, then they've been married for that long or even longer. That's a long time to be absolutely, completely fixated with your partner at the level that they are. And that's great. It's really great. What I like about it mostly is that it's Gomez who's always like expressively head over heels in love with his wife. This is not to say that Morticia isn't as in love with him. It's not to say that her lack of enthusiasm means she loves him less. It's just that Gomez wants people to know. He wants the audience to never ever wonder how he feels about her. He he's going to let you know right now. And he does it through the constant compliments, like the bottomless kisses, and just like the general affectionate energy that he has. Like, he is going to let people know that this is the person that he's very much in love with. If there's a soft life in the world of the Adams, Morticia is essentially living it. This is soft living. This is romantic living. He is, and what I like the most about Gomez is that he's not one to just like talk the talk. Like, he's doing the duty. Like, he's doing the heavy duty part of conveying this love and showing this affection. He shows time and time again that he will defend her and their entire family against anything. He will lay it down on the line. Okay, the stakes are not as high because I don't think any of them are scared of dying. In fact, they might possibly be very enthusiastic about it. But that doesn't negate my point. The point is, Gomez loves his wife and he loves his family. But he's very famous for loving his wife. Like, it's the common thing. It's the most known thing about him. He's kind of like the spooky face of simping. Side question: is it still simping if it's your spouse? Like, I'd like to believe that's just what a spouse does, you know? But yes, like, Gomez loves his wife, and what I appreciate is that no one has tried to write that as otherwise. This version of him, this very loving and affectionate version of him, is present in all the interpretations and versions of the family that we have seen. They cannot remake this or reboot it or do anything about it without adding this super affectionate and passionate version of Gomez, and I appreciate that. In comparison, like I said, Morticia's lack of enthusiasm might look like someone who's not as in love, but I think it's very much intentional. Like, aside from her being pretty dark all the time, like that just being who she is as a character, she's quite loving. She loves her husband, she loves her family, but she is a loving person, so to say. I feel like in the movies, I never doubt her feelings or never doubt her emotions, because Miss Angelica Houston, she has this very understated, very kind of sly grin that she's doing most of the time. It's hard to miss. She does it quite often. But I feel like that grin, that kind of understated, sly but also content grin, that's the level of expressiveness that she's gonna give us, and I'm cool with that. I'm completely fine with that being all she gives us. And hear me out, I think her being a complete contrast to Gomez works well for their marriage. I said it. I said it. Like, they want the same things, seemingly, and chaos wouldn't be a bad thing to them since they don't mind being not what is normal. However, or more so because I think Morticia is the right person to calm Gomez down from time to time. You know what I mean? Just when he's here and there, she just reels him back in. And I do think that some people need that. And there'll be moments in this film in particular when Gomez is getting upset, rightfully so, because like with the situation with Festa being taken away from him again and him possibly losing his brother again, like Gomez will be upset about things like that, and Morticia will always be the kind of calming energy he needs. Always there to just like let's just bring it back. Let's just take a deep breath and just, That being said, Morticia also knows when to turn it up too. And I mean that in all the ways that it could possibly be interpreted. There's, I say memorable. There's a memorable scene where they're dancing in what I assume is a club. That scene. And I think they were like doing the tango and there was like a rose involved. That passion. The fact that they have a baby, passion. Like, all these things are showing that despite all the years, despite all the things that are happening, the love and the connection is still very much there. In fact, since we haven't done it in a long time, I'm so sorry. It's my fault that we haven't, but still. In fact, let's look at the 3 C's. Chemistry. You've got it. Connection. Secured. Communication. In all the versions of this that I have seen, I don't ever think that these two lie to one another. So if you're not lying to one another, if you're always kind of sharing your feelings, I think communication, they've got that. Literally, the main reason that Fester is motivated to marry Debbie, besides like being, I guess, in love with her, one of his major motivations to marry Debbie is because he says that he wants what Gomez and Morticia have. And he's not even saying it in like an envious brotherly way, he's saying it in your relationship is so wonderful, your marriage is so great, I wish I could have something like this for myself. And isn't it just wild that this very stable, passionate pairing, romantic pairing, is meant to be a contrast of what is considered normal? Yeah, like, why can't y'all just be like Gomez? Why can't men just all be like Gomez? Because maybe I'm just saying this because, as you know, y'all know me, I love me a good husband. A good husband? Wow. A good husband that just loves his wife, takes care of his family, does his job, and then he goes home. Love that. I understand that the only reason why I love the idea of a good husband is because the bar is in literal hell. Like, if hell had a hell, that's where the bar would be for husbands right now. So I think that's like the main reason why I really appreciate good TV and movie husbands. But I really do like Gomez. Like, Gomez's major appeal to me is that he's a wonderful, wonderful spouse. Love that. I'm glad that at the core of these movies and all these shows and like all these interpretations of this family, at the core of it all, there will always be this devoted husband and his equally loving but cool wife. And they're just there raising this family, like doing the damn thing, loving each other in the process. And people will just be mad around them. People will be mad, like, oh my gosh, their alligator ate my car. Or like, oh my goodness, their butler is scary. And it's like, they don't even care, The Addams are just here to love each other, protect each other, get into some dangerous situations here and there, and live their lives. And that's really, 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 really great. Now, if we could just get Oscar Isaac like fitted in the costume, he can like grow out his hair and do like the swoosh back and just like a quick shave. I think he has like a beard right now. Listen, quick shave, get that like nice Gomez Addams mustache. Like, come on, it's Halloween. It's Halloween. Throw me a bone. Throw me a twig. I just want to see it. It's time for likes and dislikes. I'm gonna get straight to the chase with this one. I'm not gonna diddy daddle. I liked Debbie. Hear me out. I don't like the fact that she was trying to kill our cousin Fester. That was wrong. She should have never done that. Fester is not to be messed with, especially because Gomez will come for anybody that messes with his brother. I do, however, I really like Debbie as the film's antagonist. She's like a scammer and a con artist and Lady Macbeth wrapped up into one person. I love and it's really funny that when the writers were kind of thinking about, okay, who could possibly be a good villain for this family? Because if you're thinking about it, what's the perfect way to get to them if they enjoy like violence, if they enjoy pain and all that stuff? And their answer was Debbie, and she was the perfect answer. I also enjoy the fact that the motivations behind her scam are they're my favorite part about her. Usually female villains that commit crimes with no justifiable reason behind it, they resonate with me. I like them because honestly, sometimes chaos is the motive. For Debbie, chaos and a little bit of money were the motive. I really like that. I really liked the costume designs. Yeah, everyone looked like the people that they were portraying. Like everyone dresses around the original idea of what their character is like and how they dress and how they are, and it doesn't get old, it doesn't get done badly. Gomez Adams is always dripping. Even I remember in the cartoons, it was always him in that suit. Like in the movies, it was always him with the drip. It'll be like a regular Tuesday afternoon, and my man will pull up in a 3-piece suit with like a velvet scarf. And then Morticia, oh my gosh, Morticia and her classic little LBD. Well, it's not L, but they complement each other fashionably, and I do enjoy the fact that the costumes reflected the cartoon that I loved so much. Yeah. I loved the jokes that were written into the script in the way that they were. They range from like big like side-splitting jokes to just like your cute little chuckling puns and whatnot. But any time that there was a joke, it felt like it was the right moment or it was delivered at the right moment. I think Wednesday gets like the best one-liners in both the live actions. She was always making me laugh. Whenever I think about this particular film and I think about Wednesday, I think about the scene where they're being dropped. Pugsley and Wednesday are being dropped off at summer camp, and now everyone's like talking, and they're like talking to this other normal family that's there. And Morticia, in reference to Wednesday, she says she's at the special age when a girl has only one thing on her mind. And then the lady replies, she's like, oh, boys. Which, first of all, was weird of her. I personally want people to stop talking to children about dating all the time. It's weird, and it's very heteronormative most of the time, which makes it double weird. But anyway, that lady says, oh, boys. And then my queen, Wednesday, she replies with that deadpan delivery, and she says, homicide. Slam dunk, swish, like what? Yes, that's the perfect reply because stop asking children about dating. But yes, the jokes, the timing was wonderful, the delivery from Wednesday was great. Dislikes. Ugh. Okay. Carol Kane portrays Granny in this film. In the cartoon series, I remember Granny used to do like a lot with the family. She'd be very involved in like their misadventures, or when the children wanted to do something, they'd like run to her. Here, it felt like she was sidelined a bit. I think it's because in comparison to everyone else, it felt like she was saying the least and doing the least, and I didn't get it because if you can give Fester enough dialogue and motivation to push his story, then surely you can do the same for Granny. Like, she could have done way more, and they had the perfect opportunity to use Carol Kane because I feel like she would have killed it if they gave her more to work with. Like anytime I catch an episode of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and I see Carol, I sometimes think about how it feels like she never stopped being an Adams. It feels like she's still acting like an Adams. And it just feels like a wasted opportunity to me. I didn't like the pacing of this film. The first one I guess was okay, but it felt like we spent a weird amount of time on certain things, like things that I could have done without. It didn't need to be the main focus in the story. Like, I can't point them out right now because it's been a while since I watched this, but yeah, there are things that could have just been given less time, I think. But maybe that's just the curse of a sequel, sometimes you'll make a really good thing the first time around and then you won't be able to perfect it the second time around. And I think that's okay. I think we should be more graceful. Actually, no, not more graceful, but I think we should stop making sequels so often. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's the quitter in me that's talking, because I don't know about y'all. Sorry to all the other directors, but personally, I'd quit while I'm ahead. We've reached the end of the show and the spooky special. Oh, that could have rhymed if I tried really hard. But yes, we've reached the end of the show. And the end of quite the funnest thing I've ever done. Thank you to everyone for listening, supporting, reposting, and just like playing us to your friends and family. Thank you. I appreciate it so very much. I couldn't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. Huge thank you to everyone that was willing to work with me in season 2 and on the special. Thank you for lending me your time and your voice and your opinions. This was a success purely based on the fact that I managed to release on time. Side note, thank you so much to our producer Sam for helping me when things were getting a bit tight, guys. But I understand. But I do this on purpose. Well, not on purpose, but I overwhelm myself because I really enjoy doing this, and I want to put out the best or the most best content that I possibly can for y'all. It doesn't matter if you've only listened to 4 episodes because you've only watched those 4 things. That's completely fine. I want to keep putting out these. So I'm gonna keep overwhelming myself. I'm gonna get better at it, but I'm gonna keep overwhelming myself to get you guys the content that I can give you, the best content I can give you. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us during the spooky time. I shall see you for season 3 of Starring Cupid. When, I don't know. I'm going to take like a serious production break, like relax, like sit in the production break and just relax. I'm not saying that I won't work on the side because I can never not work on this podcast, but I'm definitely gonna chill. The season 3 though, it's already looking good. The lineup is looking really good. We have more guests lined up for y'all. We might have more specials lined up. Who knows? I do, and I won't tell you. But for now, have a splendid Halloween, a fantastic weekend, a prosperous November. Bye.